Now we're going to talk about temperature versus heat. And this can be kind of confusing subject because temperature and heat are very close, but they're also very different in what they mean. So first we're going to talk about temperature. And temperature, as we usually can understand it, is the degree of hotness or like coldness. And temperature we can also measure on a definite scale. Some of these scales would be like Kelvin, Rankine, Celsius. Those are all some temperature scales. Fahrenheit would fall in there as well. And this temperature is related to the average kinetic energy. Of a sample. So it's related to that energy, but it isn't energy itself. It's just helping us understand it. And temperature is independent of quantity also. And therefore, something that's independent of quantity, we like to call that intrinsic. So it's an intrinsic property. One way to think of that is you could have a match and a campfire, like our example below, where they can both have a temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit, even if they're not the same size. Now moving on to heat. Some definitions of heat we have are the fact that it's a form of energy, its value can change based on the amount of the sample, and when we add heat to things, it can increase their temperature. Because of this, that's why a lot of people get confused on this subject, because temperature and heat are very much related, even though they are very different in what they mean. And let's look at this example of the match and campfire just a little bit more to try and understand that difference. So like we said a second ago, both a match and a campfire can have a temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit. But you wouldn't want to probably be as close to a campfire as you would a match per se, right? Because you can hold a match in your hand. You might be about an inch from the flame, but you wouldn't want to be an inch close to your campfire. And that difference is because of the heat. So let's think about it as, how would you cook a hot dog? So I've never seen anyone try and cook a hot dog over a matchstick, right? The heat from the matchstick is too small, even if it is 350. The heat from the campfire, however, is sufficient. to cook it. So therefore you can see that even with the same temperature, that heat value can vary a lot. So just kind of overall, you can see that temperature is a physical intrinsic characteristic. Whereas the heat is more of a form of energy that can vary with the mass of your sample you're burning or just have. And that's the main differences between temperature and heat.